Hello everyone, I had so much fun painting the little fox on the Ampersand Aquabord the other day that I decided to do it again. This time I'm going to give you a few tips, and we'll start by really soaking your board before you get started, because there are air bubbles trapped in the clay, and wetting your surface will release most of them. Sometimes there will still be some, but usually it takes most of them out. So once you've soaked your board really well, you need to let it dry all the way. Also, because it has a particular surface, I always recommend to not to sketch straight on it, because if you need to erase, you might damage the surface. And I think it goes for a lot of papers and different surfaces. It's always better to sketch somewhere else and then trace your sketch and then transfer it onto your surface that you're going to use. So the surface of the Aquabord is very similar to the surface of a watercolor paper, except that it absorbs very fast. It doesn't dry necessarily very fast, but it absorbs the paint and the water fast. So if you wet it, the color is not going to spread as much or as far as if you were wetting a watercolor paper. That's why I prepared all my washes beforehand. So in a minute I'm going to show you why I really like the Ampersand Aquabord. And again, I'm not sponsored by them. I was not given any money. This is my honest opinion. I just really like to use it because for a lot of subjects I'm having a hard time with watercolors. It's hard to control, but on the Aquabord it's much easier to control. So at this point of the painting, all I've been doing is just blocking the colors, and then once the layers are dry, then I add more, making the colors darker or more vibrant. And you'll notice also that when the colors dry, they don't weaken like they will on a regular watercolor paper. They pretty much stay just the same as when you apply them, and the colors stay nice and vibrant. So yeah, that's basically what I did for a while, just adding the colors where I see them on the reference picture and layering them, just basically trying to replicate what I'm seeing. So when I was done doing that, I let it all dry for a little while. I really wasn't sure where I was going, because I didn't know how to add the details, and I really like to add details, so I was kind of stuck. But then what I did is I used a little scrubber brush, I wetted it, and I was able to remove all the paint that I wanted to remove, and that way I was able to add all the details I wanted to add. So lightening some colors here and there and giving the impression of feathers. It was actually a lot of fun. So some colors don't come off as much as others. The pigments stain more. But in the end, I was able to give the impression of feathers, and I was very happy with this. It was kind of like sculpting my owl in a way. I don't know how to explain, but it was a lot of fun. But that's one of the properties of the Aquabord that I really like, because it's so forgiving, and for somebody who's not as comfortable with watercolor as I am, it's much easier. It really gives me confidence when I paint with the Aquabord, and I think anybody who's learning to paint with watercolors would really enjoy using the Aquabord. And it really lets you add as many layers as you want. You just need to have a light touch so that you don't remove anything underneath. But if you make any mistakes, you can, even with just a regular brush and a little bit of water, you can move the pigment around. So in that way, it's pretty flexible, kind of like gouache in a way. I slowed down the video a bit for you so that you can see the scrubber brush and how I'm using it. It's really a great tool and doesn't require much effort to use. It's pretty simple. You just have to make sure that you rinse it very often so that you don't spread the colors around. And when you want to remove more pigments, then use a Kleenex so that you can soak up the water and the pigments that you've been moving around. Yeah, I think that's all I've got to say about it. you know, if you haven't tried yet, give it a shot. I think you'll have a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed this video and that you learned a few things. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. I'll do my best to answer them. And I'll see you soon. Have a great day. Oh yeah, and don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more videos. Bye now.